Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean, this is In The Mix, episode 114 of our FC Isle of Man series. Happy Thursday, wherever in the world you might be watching from. Happy whatever day of the week it is if you're watching this one in a playlist. If you haven't gone and checked out the episodes from earlier this week, go and have a look at them because we are in a new season in the Premier Division, our second year at this level. We brought in a whole variety of different players, we've said goodbye to a few others. That will bring you up to speed with where we're up to and how we've started the season so far, which, to be honest, has been really, really well. We're going to jump in now and have a look at how we've gone. So, as you guys can see, just above my head, I always do the wrong side. Left hand, Sean, left hand. We are currently sitting in 7th spot, which is Europa League places. A fantastic return at the moment, but it is still very tight in that chasing pack. 18 games played, 9 wins, 6 draws, 3 defeats, plus 6 goal difference, and 33 points. You can see Liverpool, Chelsea only 1 point ahead of us. Tottenham 2 points ahead of us. Man City only 4 points ahead as well, before a little bit of distance to Arsenal on 39 points. And Manchester United, as they have been all season, just running away with the division. Very similar story to last year. As far as the schedule is concerned, of course, in that last episode where we played both Man United and Man City, we then carried on with a defeat against Brighton, which was kind of frustrating because they were a side that we should be beating. They did have a fantastic year last year getting into the Europa League spots, but they have not performed at that same level this season. We thankfully did turn it around, a 90th minute winner for Neil Peacock, getting us the victory against promoted Watford, who tore apart the Championship last season. And then a good 2-1 win against Burnley as well. They did pull a goal back after an hour, but we were very thoroughly in control. We then had an away trip up to St James's Park in Newcastle where we played Lionel Altamiranda, our one kid from last season, of course moved to Newcastle. He didn't have the best of games and we actually did quite well to go ahead again through a Neil Peacock goal in 71 minutes before they got a scrappy tap home from a corner. Ryan Sessegnon getting the 88th minute equaliser there, which was quite frustrating. We then played Leicester, again a similar frustrating one where we created quite a few different chances and just couldn't hit the back of the net. Leicester didn't really provide anything in terms of highlights or clear-cut chances or anything like that. It was just purely down to us not finishing, and I think the match ratings you can see here for the front three kind of indicate that we didn't create a tremendous amount. Now, due to some scheduling changes, we are going to play Tottenham again. I know we did play them 2 episodes ago, so that's kind of a bit repetitive, but it is another trip down to North London. We're going to play Tottenham at home, and then we're going to play Arsenal away. They are the last 2 games of 2032. We'll have a January transfer window where we're trying to do a couple of different things. We've got FA Cup football returning shortly as well. We're trying to really set ourselves up to have a fantastic run home in the second half of the season. And traditionally speaking, like once we hit that New Year period, we do tend to have a better second half of the year than first half once we're comfortable in that division. So I'm hopeful 2 good results will close out a very successful December period where we haven't lost as yet and give us a fantastic platform to succeed into 2033 as well. Now, interestingly, and some eagle-eyed people might have noticed it in the last episode, I've got a new assistant manager, which funnily enough, given that we're playing Tottenham, is this man, Harry Kane. He replaces Herman Hreiderson, who did a fine job, but was never really the player or the assistant that I wanted to bring in. Harry Kane was available, having previously managed at Ipswich under-18s. He did, in the game world, spent his entire career at Tottenham. He was there right up until he retired in 2030. And we now bring him across as our assistant. Hopefully he'll have some inside knowledge as to how we can get 3 points against Tottenham this time out. We have been alternating between 2 different tactics. We have been using our attacking tactic when we're at home, which we will again today, and then using our positive tactic when we're playing away from home. While we're on this screen, only one real concern for today. Cedron is out suspended for the next game, and Carlos Andre has been out for a couple of weeks with an injury. He should hopefully be back for the Tottenham match, but he will miss out today with Brian Anonye filling in at left wing back and Ben Schott playing at right wing back. Otherwise, pretty much a full-strength squad to pick from, which is a great problem to have. There are a few different players that I think are knocking on the door of selection at the moment. Sigurdsson's played a couple of games and been fantastic each time out. He might get a spell in January ahead of Warburton because we've got quite a few fixtures coming up. But for this match at least, this is how we're going to line up. Kubis, of course, in goal. Warburton and Escobar as the central defensive partnership. Anonye in at left wing back. Ben Schott in at right wing back. Gary Lester will anchor midfield. He's chipped in with about 4 goals, all of them long-range screamers so far this season. Barbosa, who I'm continually getting good reports about his continued development, will play as the Mazzala. He hasn't played, I think, as well as he did last season for us, but at least like his star ratings are getting better, some of his attributes are getting better. He's still progressing nicely. Aguirre, our highest average rated player for the season, will play as the 10. Teddy Bloor playing against his old club on the left wing, Peacock on the right, and Phillips up top. It is Pep Guardiola's Tottenham. He was back at Man City after a pretty long spell out last season. He got the sack at the end of the year and then moved pretty much straight into the Tottenham job, interestingly. When we played them last time, I think we previewed Alisson Vicente, their captain, and their highest average rated player of the season, Max Sandro and D. Almeida. So we'll look at a couple of different players now. We might go with Sanchez, the other central defender, 29-year-old Spanish international. Looks to be very, very good 4.5-star current ability and potential ability as well. He looks to be quite decent, to be fair, covering central defender. Omiyonga gave us some issues last time we played. A wing-back on defend, a 21-year-old French player that they picked up this season from Parma with 1 international cap to his name. Nothing jumping out at me massively for technical ability. Mental attributes, he's got 17 teamwork, 16 work rate, but physically just a beast. 16 acceleration, agility, natural fitness, 18 balance, 17 pace, 18 stamina. Just very impressive. He'll get up and down that line all afternoon. And over on the right wing, Silverio, Portuguese right winger that they've had for a good few seasons. I've seen his name bob up a few different times relating to like end of season awards and whatever else. He came through at Wolves where he spent 10 years and he's been at Tottenham now for the last 4 seasons. 4.5 star current ability and potential at 28 years of age. Very good technical attributes, decent mental attributes, very good physical attributes as well. He will be a bit of a handful on that right hand side. Now we did get a point the last time we played them. I'm hopeful, being at home, we can potentially go a step further and get a good win today. Assertively, I'm going to say recent form standings have Tottenham in 2nd place while we're 10th. Let's raise our game to their level. And we're also assertively going to tell the defence that we have faith in them, because if we get a clean sheet, I always back us to score at the other end. First highlight of the game, 18 minutes in. It's a wide free kick for Tottenham, which has caused us issues in the past. We do get the header away, but it's back into Aldo, who gets the strike away from about the top edge of the 18-yard box. His first goal of the season and his first goal for Tottenham as well. What was he? Is he a midfielder? He is. He's their kind of anchor in midfield. He doesn't look too bad either. Another Brazilian side in their player in their squad. They've got quite a few. Escobar with a good header away there, and then Sanchez just puts it back into him. No one gets out quick enough, and he picks out the bottom right-hand corner. To be fair to Kubis, he had a few defenders in front of him. He might not have seen it until very, very late. But we go a goal down against Tottenham at home. I'm curious as to what we should do to respond here. Statistically, so far, 30 minutes in, very, very even. I might actually use our Get Creative shout, see if we can't push everybody forward a little bit, try and find an equalising goal. Highlight starts here with Tottenham. Omiyonga, who we spoke about in the build-up, comes forward and gets into the box. Someone's got to go to him, and he goes for a drive. It was a pretty slow effort, but kind of just wriggled its way out for the goal kick on the far side. Ball forward here, again with Tottenham. We haven't really seen any highlights going our way just yet. Barbosa's won the ball back in a great position though, and burst past another challenge in midfield. Can he find the finish? Mueller in goal for Tottenham with a wonderful save. Good stuff from Barbosa though. He's got possession here as well from a throw-in. Back to Inonye. Square ball to Aguirre. Ball across to Peacock, who gets the strike away. He's just offside, but a wonderful finish. Did everything he needed to in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, but he did look offside in the build-up when that ball was hit. 2 minutes to be added on. At least we know what our halftime team talk will be. So at halftime, 5 shots, 4 on target, 38% possession for Tottenham, 6 shots, 1 on target for their goal, and 62% of the ball. Aggressively, we are going to say, show me something else in the second half, and at least everybody's responded positively. As far as subs go, we'll give it 15 minutes. We've got a couple of yellow cards here we'll have to keep an eye on. And as we look at it, there's a few match ratings that aren't fantastic at the moment either. Corner here for Tottenham. Ball near post, and Sanchez just flicks that one over the top of the crossbar. Another corner here again. Max Sandro take goes near post that time. Vicente's hit the base of the post. Falls out to Bolly. We close him down well, and we might have a counter-attack here if we get forward quick enough. Escobar carrying the ball into the final third. He needs to wait for support now. Goes a deep ball across. Blore can knock it back towards Inonye. He does now. Back to Blore. Are we going to get this in the box? Inonye, with a poor touch, and the highlight just comes to an end. Throwing now, left-hand side for Tottenham. The game's come alive a little bit here in the second half. We are still set to attacking. Vicente beats one challenge, and he's in the wide right area. Wonderful finish from Alisson Vicente. He is one of the better strikers in the world at the moment, and I think Man City are kind of tentatively watching him and placing bids on him. But look where he picks up this ball. One, we're not tight enough to everybody at the corner. That's disappointing, but he just skips past one challenge. No second defender goes to him, and he just curls it very nicely into that far corner, which I think means that we need to go and make some adjustments. Let's try moving back to our positive structure, see if that does anything at all. And let's look at these average ratings. Blore having a horrific game against his old club. Might bring on Jimmy Winter and play him as an inverted winger on attack on that side. Peacock also not having a great game, so maybe we'll actually bring on both wingers in that instance. Carragher can play as an inverted winger. Jimmy Winter can play as a winger on that side. Not the most imaginative, just changing your 2 wingers, but if they're the 2 players struggling, we need to make some sort of adjustment. I'm going to use our Get Creative shout as well. Let's see if we can't hold onto the ball a little bit and try and force a couple of chances. I don't feel as a team we've gone backwards since the start of the season, so to be in a situation where a team that we previously had drawn with, being 2-0 down, doesn't feel great. 10 minutes remain. Let's use that last sub. It looks like Javier Aguirre is really struggling to get involved in the play. Might bring on Cambridge and we might put Barbosa a little bit further forward. We might just adjust some of these player roles as well. Let's switch back to attacking and let's also go a few more players set to attack, and maybe we'll push the defenders forward a little bit just so that they're not as concerned about short passing. They can go a little bit more direct. Passionately, we'll tell them we've got faith in them. There's a highlight here for Tottenham. Ball in towards back stick. Thankfully, the header just over the crossbar. But we do also have an opportunity to use a shout. Let's use our demand more shout now. Give everyone some focus through to full time. 4 minutes to be added on. Are there any late drama highlights here to be added on? I don't think so. We're through that time. The referee calls full time. It's a 2-0 defeat. To be fair, Vicente's goal was wonderful. Aldo's was just poor defending on our part. 9 shots, 7 on target, 40% possession for Isle of Man. 12 shots, 4 on target, 60% of the ball for Tottenham. Definitely a Guardiola side. Assertively, far from pleased. Let's go with that. And everyone's at least responded positively to it. I think, like, the board still thinks we just want to try and beat relegation. I know I have the personal view that we want to finish in the top 10, but the team is just acting like we should be in and around the European spots at the moment. It's absolutely great. So it does see us drop out of Europa League places down into 8th position for the time being, but still plenty of football left to be played. And you see here, FC Isle of Man lose ground in race to qualify. Miguel de Almeida, their central defender, gets the Man of the Match award. We didn't have really any highlights to speak of, so I guess that's to be expected that their defence played particularly well. It is only 3 days till the game against Arsenal, so we are going to use a rest day. We will be able to bring, I think, Carlos Andre and Cedron right back into the starting lineup. I might also give Warburton a spell and play Sigurdsson. And Elliot Bloor has not played well really at any point this season, so we might make that adjustment as well and adjust some of these player roles. We'll go to Winter being an inverted winger on attack, and I'll drop Carlos Andre back to be a wing back on defend, and we'll see how that goes. I've just realised I have hit continue without using the rest day that I wanted to use, so we'll give everyone that started the previous game one rest day just to try and get their fitness back up above 90%. And now, magic editing, we'll jump forward to the lineups against Arsenal now. Right, so just like that, we're a few days further ahead now. The one change is I brought Inonye back in. Carlos was not quite ready to go, so it didn't really make sense to try and force him through it and risk further injury. But otherwise, Cooper's in goal. Sigurdsson comes in at left wing back. Winter comes in on the left wing. Those are the only real changes for us from the last match. It is Diego Simeone's Arsenal side, and they're playing a very Simeone 4-4-2. Martinez is one of the better players in the world for his position. Ball playing central defender. He looks very, very tidy. I think he was the one Arsenal player that was in the media dream 11 at the start of the year. 5-star current ability and potential. Colombian 25-year-old. Has quite a few caps to his name as well. Quinn is a player that we kept an eye out for ages. We want to try and bring him in as Messiah around a similar time that we bought Lua Barbosa when he was back at Sochaux in... Is it Sochaux? Sochaux? I don't know how you pronounce that one. Someone can let me know in the comment section below, I'm sure. But we just couldn't afford him. I think they eventually paid £76 million, which we haven't been anywhere near being able to afford for quite a while. They've also got this guy, Mejdub, who we're keeping an eye on at the moment. 18-year-old left fullback / left midfielder, which is how they're using him today. He looks solid, but not spectacular. When we were trying to bring in more English talent, he was one of the guys that we kept an eye on. But I think in reality, we ended up going for Carlos, and he's a more finished option now. But we might keep an eye on him as the game progresses and see how he goes. Matteo Torren leading the line up top, Italian 21-year-old from Napoli. He looks to be a very good player as well. 5-star current ability and some wonderful, like all this green attributes that you can see here is devastating. So he's their leading scorer for the season. He'll be the one to keep an eye on as far as goal scoring threats are concerned. Passionately, we're going to say we are Arsenal after what happened in our last match. I don't remember what that result was, but I'm guessing they must have beaten us or that wouldn't have come up. And we didn't get the greatest results in the last episode, but we are away from home. We are adjusting our tactic a little bit. We are picking up injuries early. Neil Peacock looks like he's going to drop off down onto the bench. We might bring Bloor back on after dropping him and switch his sides with Jimmy Winter. Does mean he'll move back to being a winger on support. Not ideal. Peacock has been fairly decent. I know we paid a lot of money for him and you expect like a £70 million player to be good for you, but he has helped the squad a bit this year. And they've scored. It was a short throw into McRae. He put a ball into the box and Torren, who we spoke about in the build-up, gets his 14th goal of the season. Very impressive goal-scoring return from him so far this year. Just very simple stuff. We should be tighter to all of these players. And we should be tighter to Torren there. Maybe Sigurdsson probably dropped off him a little bit too much. Would Warburton have done differently after making that change? It's hard to say. But at a goal down, we know that we probably need to put our foot down and go to attacking a little bit here in the second half. We're through 30 minutes now. We're just going to use a demand more shout here, just give everyone some focus through to half-time. If we get into half-time break 1-0 down, I know I can use an aggressive shout, pull out the hairdryer a little bit. I know we can shift to an attacking structure, and maybe that's enough to turn the team around. We do have possession here at the moment. Phillips comes forward, skips past a few challenges, and then the strike from the edge of the area is horrific. It's nearly a throw-in. Mejdoob, who we spoke about early on, he also had to go off early in the match, so hopefully he's okay. Anonye, wide ball towards Phillips, flick on header back stick for Winter. First goal of the season for Jimmy Winter. He was a bit part player, playing a fair amount actually on the left wing last season because we just couldn't nail down that spot. This year we're using him as a backup right winger, and he has come forward with a fantastic goal and an equalising effort at the Emirates. Good flick on header from Phillips, and Winter just peels off the shoulder of the defender at the far post, slams that one home with his laces, and at half-time we will go in 1-1. Arsenal though, 8 shots, 5 on target, 39% possession. For us, 5 shots, 2 on target, 61% of the ball. Passionately, I'm going to say I'm happy with the performance so far, keep it up, but I think tactically speaking, we're also going to switch up, go to our attacking structure here for the second half, which might mean we adjust a couple of these. Maybe Anonye moves to be a complete wing back, which he's a bit more comfortable with. We'll hold a couple of these additional roles through the centre for the minute. We'll have a look in 15 minutes time, see how we're doing for form, fitness, match ratings, all of that sort of stuff before we make our subs and make any further tactical changes. We've got a highlight here. Aguirre tries to switch, but it wasn't quite on. The danger with this 4-4-2 they're playing is they're leaving a lot of men forward. Torren's got on goal side again, and he's clipped the post on the far side. Cedron brings it back under control, and the highlight comes to an end. That is absolute quality. He's had 2 chances, and he's managed to pull out 2 fairly decent finishes at the same time. 60 minutes now, we're going to have a look at these subs. So from match ratings, Blore is on a 6.3 despite coming off the bench. What are we going to do with you, Elliot? You are horrific at the moment. So we're going to bring on Greg Carragher to play on that left wing. Yes, I'm subbing off a guy that just came on the pitch. Sigurdsson hasn't had a great game either. We might bring on Warburton just for the last 30 minutes. And then Anonye and Escobar. Anonye's got a knock. Escobar's got a yellow card. We might hold off until the last 10 minutes and see how they get on getting through this one. Assertively, I've got faith in you. Let's go with that. And let's also use our Get Creative shout with 30 minutes remaining. Second half so far, we've both had one highlight. There is another one here though. Winter wins the ball back on halfway. Cedron now. Back into Escobar. Ball forward wasn't to anyone in particular. It's effectively just giving possession back to Arsenal. And here's the concern when they put that ball in behind. McRae, what a finish that is. That is an absolute wonder strike. 7th goal of the season for Richard McRae. And it is a fantastic effort. We'll check this one out in 3 dimensions. You can see Vergara just puts the ball, Arquin, forward to Telga, who then puts the ball forward. And at the first time of asking on the half volley, from about 20 yards, McRae just lets loose, and that one flies into the back of the net on the far side. That is a very good finish. I can't be too upset about that one. Martinez, ball forward, out wide now to Jadson. We have pushed on still a little bit. Anonye wins it back, but only as far... and Torrens nearly scored again. Only as far as the overlapping fullback, I was going to say. And then Torren clipped the base of the post before he's eventually brought back for offside. Good decision, ref. Good decision. I had no idea. What am I talking about? Throwing on the right-hand side for us. This might be the last highlight before we make some subs. Barbosa in possession. Back to Leicester. We need to work. Just a simple pass, boys. Aguirre comes to collect. Barbosa now. Sends one out right. It's not quite on, though. Just giving back possession again. Telga with a long ball forward to McRae, the goal scorer. Jadson now on the right-hand side. Sends one for McRae to chase. He's in a wide area. Hasn't got much to work with. Cuts it back to Jadson. And then, that crossfield ball found Telga, who really just rammed it into the far post. There's a highlight here. We're going to let this play out and then we'll make those subs. So long ball forward. Telga knocks it down for Rasmussen, the central defender. Vergara. Now Arquin, who I remember doing the damage in the first game. Great tackle there from Cedron in midfield. Wins the ball back and it's now with Jimmy Winter. He loses possession though and Torrens sends McRae off the shoulder on the left-hand side. He holds up, plays it back in for Larac, who's found the finish. And I'd say that's 2 goal margins probably going to be a bit much for us to catch up today. We'll make this last sub. Anonye's knock is a concern, but I think what we'll do is let him see the match out because we don't have a good replacement on the bench. Barbosa hasn't had a great game. Escobar hasn't had a great game either. We might bring on Greisinger and just tidy things up. I can't make any more subs because we took off Neil Peacock right at the start. Why am I forgetting everything that's happened? We're just going to use our demand more shout. Listen, I know I play a lot of this game. It's been a long week, all right? Sometimes I forget shit. Kubis just clears it out for no reason. I'm not sure why we saw that as a highlight. But I think this is going to be a 0-point episode, donuts for everybody, which isn't ideal, but what can you do? So referee calls full time, a 3-1 defeat, 19 shots, 9 on target, 41% possession for Arsenal. For us, 6 shots, 2 on target, 59% of the ball. And I'm curious now, After playing about 10 games in that style, if switching between positive and attacking mentalities between games is kind of causing us issues. We had a great start to the season when we stayed attacking. Maybe for the next 10 games, we're going to stay attacking as well. It does see us drop down to 9th spot. Again, I'm just going to reiterate our expectations. If we finish in the top 10, I'll be absolutely thrilled. It'll be an improvement on last year. Youthful FC Isle of Man come unstuck. Richard Macrae gets the Man of the Match award. An English complete forward, 64 caps his name. He looks to be a very good player, and it was a wonderful goal, to be fair to him. Simeone outperformed us. It's hard to argue with that at the minute. You did get the win. Peacock's only going to be out for 1 to 3 days with a bruised ankle. That's handy. And similarly, Brian Anonye only out for 3 days with a bruised knee. That's going to help us quite a bit as well. Looking forward a little bit, I think we might try and bring you an FA Cup game in the next round. The third round takes place as our next match this coming Saturday on the 1st of January. And then the fourth round gets drawn the day after and will potentially also be in January kickoff dates. If it is, I'll try and bring you guys a version of that. We haven't really focused on the FA Cup at any point. We did a little bit when we were in the lower divisions trying to get like a Premier League side to get the extra revenue of them playing at our home ground. But we haven't really focused on trying to be successful in that competition as yet. So hopefully we'll get through against Nottingham Forest and then we'll come back and show you guys that episode or that game in the next episode. It will likely mean that we play one of Chelsea, Southampton. Probably not Arsenal again, because I think we've repeated enough teams so far this year, but it might be around the Southampton match that game actually takes place. As always, guys, thank you for the continued support on the channel. I appreciate it a tremendous amount. If you ever need anything from the community, I know there have been a few people actually that have reached out wanting to use this database, wanting to use the kit packs, the logos, whatever else. Hit me up on Twitter. Links just over on that side. I'm more than happy to send you all the details of what we're doing so far, because I've loved this save and you may potentially love it as well. While you're there, if you do that, you can follow us over on Twitter for all our interactions with the FM community. You can check out our regular Sunday night Twitch streams, Sunday morning if you're in the UK, super early Sunday morning if you're in North America. But like I said at the start, thank you for watching. I appreciate that past the most. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.